do, 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 do.
Everybody, and welcome to Tuesday Training. I hope you're having a fantastic week. As always,
we are live from Austin, Texas, right here at Insurance Syndicate headquarters. And man, we have a great show for you.
Good morning. What is going on, man? It's Tuesday, 9 a.m. Central, so you know what's happening. It's time for some Tuesday Training. We are live from the studio here at Insurance Syndicate headquarters right in Austin, Texas. If you're watching me on Facebook, you will see me going live as Mr. Joe Campert, my partner, who's helping me out today because we're live in the studio. I don't have the tools needed to go live as Tony Merwin here. I have to do that from my office, but we wanted to shoot this one in the studio today. So thank you for tuning in so much. As always, this show is brought to you by DFY CRM, man. If you're an agent out there, matter of fact, I was talking to an agent last week, and sometimes it amazes me how often I chat with agents that are in this business. They've been in the business for a while. They have clients, and they have no CRM, no way to track those clients, those relationships, and manage those opportunities. And it blows my mind. They're still trying to do some of this stuff on an Excel spreadsheet. Man, if you need a good CRM, give DFY a call. It's got all the tools you need. I promise you. One of the things I really like about it, if you are an agent out there looking for a CRM, if you're an agent out there looking for a website, because this is another problem that agents talk about a lot. They're like, hey, I need a really good website, to promote my business. And you don't need like the most robust website if you're an individual agent out there, but you do need something that people can see. And one of the great things about DFY, you can build your landing pages and your website right in there. And the cool part about it is when your prospects or clients hit that website, everything that they click on, trigger links, pages they visit is all tracked inside of DFY. So you know exactly what they've visited, what they've looked at, what they might be interested in. So great tool. I mean, as an agent out there, you can kind of build it as an all-in-one solution for your website, your CRM, everything you need. So give Eric and the team over there a call and get a demo. But with that said, man, this is the official first show of the new year of 2025. And 2025 is a great time to be alive, and it's a time to thrive. So one of the things I just want to lead off with before we jump into the crux of the show is to do a SWOT analysis of yourself and, more importantly, your business. And if you're not familiar with what a SWOT analysis is, that is SWOT, SWOT, SWOT. It stands for this. S, what are your strengths? What are you good at? What is your business good at? What's going on in your business that is a strength? Think about that. Write it down. W, what are your weaknesses? Just the alternative. What are your weak points? Is it your skill set as an agent? Is there certain things within your business that is a weakness that you need to work on? The O is for opportunities. What opportunities do you have? Opportunities for growth, opportunities for partnerships, opportunities for development inside your business, whatever it might be. And then finally, the T is threats. What threats does your business face? Right? In the Medicare space, one of the biggest threats that we have, obviously, is regulation, right? One of the other threats we have is developing good leads. Like, you can think about that. Like your competition and the other people that are out there trying to market are out there. They're kind of threats as well, obviously. So if you're not able to get in front of enough people, that is a big threat. And that's really one of the things that we're going to jump in and talk about today because, and I've talked about this before on the show, we've done similar trainings, but we've got a guest that's going to come help out and really dive into it with me. AEP just finished. And a lot of you agents out there, especially some of you newer agents, you went out and you built you a great book of business during AEP. Maybe you got 50 new clients. Maybe you have 100 new clients. Maybe you're like Josh Young's and you have 450 new clients that you've now put on your books. Well, OEP is a great time to remarket to those clients. You've already got a great book of people that trust you, believe in you, they're doing business with you. And if you're struggling for any reason to find new business or new leads during OEP, the open enrollment period that lasts from January 1st to March 31st, go back to that book of business and market them secondary products, ancillary products. I've talked about this before, and this is our exact process that we work with here at Avila. Every time we close an app, we're going to touch that person about 5 times in the first 90 days that we talk to them, right? Or that we've got them on the books. We're going to give them a welcome call on day 1 when we get that policy approval. We're going to call them back in 15 days to double check on them, make sure they've got their materials, that they know how their plan works, they've got everything they need. We're going to call them back in 30 days and check on them again. Hey, how's your plan working for you? Have you used it yet? Have you had any problems with it when using it? And obviously, most of the time, if we've done our job correctly in finding them the right plan, they're going to give us all great news. No, the plan works great. I've used it, went and got my drugs. They charged me just like you said. I went and saw my doctor. Everything's great. Love the plan. And that's when we start to tee up our cross-marketing conversations, because we're going to call them again in 60 days. And we're going to call them again in 90 days at the end of that open enrollment period. And we do that for a couple of reasons. Number one, don't be so naive to think that, well, agents aren't supposed to market during OEP. You can't market to the open enrollment period. No, but agents are finding a way to get your clients on the phone. And if they find out that they are unsatisfied with their plan for any reason that you put them on during AEP, they're going to find a way to flip them. So number one, those calls in those first 90 days work great retention. And I'll give you a perfect example. We are finding out with some of our clients now and a few of the agents I'm working with in the Central Texas and Waco area that, well, that whole Baylor, Scott, and White deal with Humana fell through. So all of our clients that like Baylor, Scott, and White, the clinics, the providers, the doctors, the hospitals, et cetera, but they have Humana, they are finding out now that, well, they can't use that Humana plan with Baylor, Scott, and White. So we're having to go back and do some cleanup and make sure that those people are taken care of and they are on the proper plan that will allow them to go see their favorite doctor. So you're able to, number one, find those problems. And then number two, sets up your perfect opportunities to cross market hospital indemnity, final expense, cancer, heart, stroke, home health care, any of those types of products. And that's the crux of what we're going to jump in today. And we have an amazing guest. I'm super, super excited to have this gentleman on. He is the vice president of United National Life, which is our product of choice when we do some of these cross-marketing activities. They've got an amazing portfolio, and we're going to bring him on to talk about it. So please give me a virtual welcome for Mr. Hunter Gordy. He's the vice president over at UNL, United National Life, and I'm super happy to have him on the show. How you doing, brother?
Awesome, Tony. Appreciate you having me on to discuss the OEP and the potential, the potential, the opportunities for every agent that we're talking to today.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And I said it already, but I kind of want to get your take on it, because there are a lot of agents out there. They'll go build a great book during AEP, but then they ignore that book of business until either that book of business calls them for some reason or until the next AEP.
Yeah.
And then they'll find out, oh, wow, people are getting my clients on the phone and flipping them and I'm losing my business.
Yeah.
So, you know, one of the things I always tell them is like, man, you need to call those people during OEP and check on them, make sure they're doing well. But if you're doing it right, then it's going to tee up the perfect opportunity to cross market the right products to them. And leading off with that, obviously, is hospital indemnity. It's wild, because I've been in this business for 20 years, and, you know, we didn't have any of these products 20 years ago. We were just selling Medicare supplements. That's the only product we had. Even the dental products that were out back then were absolute trash. There were no drug plans. And then now you fast forward to today, we have an amazing assortment of products that we can use to really make sure that we are getting our client the best type of healthcare coverage that they need. And in the last, I would say, probably around 2016, hospital indemnity really started to take off.
Yeah.
Right.
That's about right. So yeah. So I mean, I listened to your intro and you hit the nail on the head. I mean, there's two types of agents out there. There's the agents that are fat and happy. They, you know, like you said, they brought on anywhere from 20 to 450 new customers, new clients. They're going to get a nice, fat, awesome check come, maybe January, maybe February. Some I'm here in March, and so they feel like, hey, I worked my tail off over the previous 10 weeks. I don't really have to do much during the first quarter of the year because nobody can market to my clients. They're mine, right? Then there's the clients that see the opportunity, right? Yep. They see that, yeah, I did great. Maybe I got 100 new clients. But when that check comes in January, February, March, am I going to get paid on all 100 of those, right? And so making sure that they have touched them, that they have reached back out to them, that they have, you say cross-marketing. I originally used to say cross-sell. I have recently switched to the phrase cross-educating, right? Because that's exactly what we're doing. We're educating our clients that are, when it comes to Medicare, obviously they have a couple of different options, MedSup, Medicare Advantage. More and more of our clients are going the Medicare Advantage route. But if that's all they're doing and you're not educating them on the gaps in coverage, then you're not doing your job, right? And so the clients that are out there doing that during AEP are setting themselves up to have a monster year instead of setting themselves up for disappointment and having to, come October 15th of next year, having to chase and make up those clients that they already lost. And it's just you start spinning your tires. And so you want to make sure you're setting yourself up for the future. Absolutely.
Absolutely. I mean, number one, you need to touch them because we need to make sure that they stay our clients. Because if you lose them during OEP, you absolutely lost them. You get a full charge back for the commission that you wrote during AEP. And now that person's locked into someone else's book of business. Yeah. And very well could be an agent that's a little bit savvier than you and is also marketing hospital indemnity and other products to them.
It's funny. So you mentioned hospital indemnity. And you're right. I mean, the first hospital indemnity plan that was ever created was 19 years ago. So back in 2005, 2006, actually it was 2005. So almost 20 years ago, it was created, and it really didn't do much, right? It didn't do much. It was there. It was what it was. But over the last 10 years, 8 to 10 years, it's really taken off. And you know that we've heard about it. A lot of agents here, they understand. But the fact is, the reality is, there's 35 million Americans that have Medicare Advantage plans, roughly 35 million, right? Less than 1% of Medicare Advantage policyholders actually have a hospital indemnity plan, right? So just think about those numbers. It's unbelievable how much opportunity is out there, not only for you with your current book of business, but the potential to grab other people, get their clients by just bringing up the fact, hey, you're in a great Medicare Advantage plan, right? You're in a great plan. However, since you're in such a great plan, I'm sure your agent told you about if you have to go to the hospital, you're responsible for the first 5-6 days, right? $300, $400 per day. What is that client going to do when you as the agent tells that person? They're going to stare at you like you're a deer in headlights. Like, what are you talking about? My agent never told me about that, right? They didn't go over those copays. They probably did. Obviously, they're supposed to. But if they're not hammering home the fact that that is a huge potential liability for you, and listen, I've got a way I can cover you for less than $1 a day, right? If they're not talking about that, it gives you that opportunity to then get those clients. But more importantly, it gives you an opportunity to keep your clients so somebody else isn't doing that to you.
Absolutely. And that's a great point, because not only obviously can you market, say, a hospital indemnity product to your own book, but as you're making calls, as you're running prospects and leads, and you find people that are like, oh, I'm in a hospital indemnity, I'm in a Medicare Advantage plan, that is a great time to pivot, exactly like you said. Maybe they are already in the right Medicare Advantage plan for them, or maybe more importantly, you're not inside of an eligible enrollment period to do anything with their Medicare Advantage plan already.
Yep.
So some agents are just going to be like, oh, okay, I'll just call you next AEP and see if I can help you. A savvier agent is going to do exactly what you said. Hey, you're already in a great plan. I understand maybe whether they're satisfied with it or not at that point, but it's a great pivot where you can say, look, here's what I can do to help you for now. Let's get some of your copays and stuff tightened up.
Yeah, because once you do that, and once you get that opportunity and you get that business, are they going to then continue to trust their agent who didn't help them with these holes in the coverage? No, eventually you're going to get that Medicare Advantage plan.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And as we know, I don't know the exact study, but I remember, I think Harvard ran a study on this, that insurance clients that have at least 2 or 3 different policies with you are something like 90% more sticky to
Yeah.
stay with you, right? Because
Yeah.
they're not going to let another
It's a
agent come in
really,
there.
yeah, there's a really easy way to remember this. If you only put one plan in a home, you have a 30% chance of keeping that client for life, right?
Mm.
If you put 2 plans in a home, you have a 60% chance of keeping that client for life. Once you get 3 plans in a home, you have a 90% chance of keeping that client for the rest of their life, right?
Wow.
So the cross educating it's not only about making more money, right? And you're going to make more money when you do this, but more importantly, it's about protecting your book of business, protecting your renewals, right? Because obviously a 30% chance of keeping a client is not great. A 90% chance is awesome, right?
Yeah,
So we want to make sure we're doing this because we're going to cross sell. We're going to help the client, number one, right? They don't know what they don't know. It's our job as agents to educate these people on what these plans are, but also what they're not, right? Where are those holes? Where are those potential pain points for that client, right? So you're going to help them. In doing so, you're going to protect your book of business, right? You're going to keep your clients. You're going to make more in renewals. And thirdly, you're going to make more money doing it, right?
Absolutely.
So it's a win for everybody involved.
Absolutely. It's definitely, I mean, let's be honest, you can technically, I mean, at least on an individual sale, if you're writing an MA plan, let's say it's a replacement plan during AEP, and you add on a hospital indemnity, you've effectively pretty close to doubled your commissions first year for that client alone. So one of the questions I wanted to ask you, just so we can kind of drive that home a little bit, I know you work with a lot of different agents, agencies, or even FMOs around the nation with your product. If you could think of maybe one of your best agents, do you know maybe what kind of attachment rate that agent might have that helps him be successful? Like how many HIs is he probably attaching to Medicare Advantage plans?
Yeah, I will tell you, I have and you're familiar with this. I'm not going to name her name, but a lady out of Arkansas who's been working with us for 2 years, and she came on board. I educated her on what hospital indemnity was. You know, she was familiar with it, but wasn't really, you know, it started in the med sup world, was switching over to Medicare Advantage, and just kind of said, you know, I'll figure that out later. What she did is last year, she decided this is so important because I know that if I have a client that I take from a med sup, put them on a Medicare Advantage plan, and don't get them protection for those hospital copays, what's going to happen when that person has to go to the hospital, right? They've been on a med sup. They've expected everything to be paid. Well, they go to the hospital that first time and they get a bill for $1,500. What's going to happen? They're going to lose that client, right? And guess what? It's not only the Medicare. If you're a good agent, you have their annuities, you got their, you know, life insurance, you've got all the stuff. And you don't want to lose that because if they go to the hospital and they have to pay out of pocket, you're going to lose everything, right? So what she did is compliantly, she gave them an option. She said, you have 2 options. If you're going to buy Medicare from me, you got 2 options. Number one, we can go the med sup route. There's some great opportunities out there. If you have the money, you can afford it. There's still some great plans out there. Or number 2, we're going to put you in a Medicare Advantage plan, right? We're going to find the best plan for you. But in doing so, if you go this route, you have 2 options. Number 1, you can buy a hospital indemnity plan, and here's why. Or number 2, you can sign this piece of paper or speak over the phone that I can record that says, I offered this to you, and you chose not to buy it, right? That way, when they come back to me, if they don't sell it, if they don't buy it, and they come back to me after going to the hospital, she can say, hey, I tried, right? Remember, I pushed you to get this. You chose not to. I said, how many people signed that? She goes, no. If somebody's going to sign something, they're going to sign an app and they're going to get protection. She said, I never had anybody sign it because they trust me at that point. Right.
Exactly.
So her close rate is 100%.
That's
is
wild.
That real? Is that, you know, that's not typical. Your
Sure.
typical agent who is talking about this in every single home is going to do about 50%.
Yeah.
Which shows you how few agents are actually talking about it.
Yeah.
Because if a good agent who talks about it in every house closes 50% of the time, that means most agents aren't talking about it because the rate of hospital indemnity plans is less than 1%. It's 0.9%. Right. So
that stat is wild.
It's insane. And we know that. We have the data. It's all there.
Right.
And it just shows you the opportunity. Like, it's every agent, the chances of you talking to somebody that has a hospital indemnity plan, 99 out of 100 don't.
That's wild. That is absolutely wild to me. And you guys have an amazing portfolio of products. I don't just want to sit here and beat up the hospital indemnity plan, although yours is easily one of my favorites. The simple reason why I love yours the most, not only because it's affordable and it's just all around a great product, is because you can design yours to cover the 3 biggest gaps in every Medicare Advantage plan, right? We know that the 3 biggest gaps are, number 1, hospital copays, number 2, outpatient cancer, heart, stroke, right? And then number 3, skilled nursing. And you can build all of that into a single hospital indemnity plan. And in a lot of cases, like, we're writing it at that level, somewhere between $50 to maybe $70 on the high end for some of our older clients. And I'm talking, we're tightening up all their hospital copays. We're adding on the skilled nursing rider, which helps them cover those days. And then we're getting them maybe 5 or 10K in cancer on top of that.
Yeah. And that's how we designed this product. So when we designed this product, we said, there's a lot of options out there. GTL, who's our sister company, they're the founder of the hospital indemnity plan. They have the Cadillac of plans. It's an unbelievable plan. It's also very, very, very expensive, right?
Yeah.
And so when we were coming out with our plan, we said, we don't want to step on their toes, right? That's your bread and butter. You created it. We're sister companies. Do what you do. Let us be that low-cost alternative, right? Instead of them having to go to another company out there, right? Let's keep them in-house. Let's keep them in the building. We're in the same building. We will take those low-cost alternative. We want to be that low-cost alternative. That's how we got into the game. Now, we created our plan and designed it to your point. If somebody wants to come in and only take care of their hospital copays, they can get out at like $15 per month, right? Mm-hmm. Very inexpensive. Now, you add on an ambulance rider, right? $2 per month. You add on an outpatient surgery rider, $550, $560 a month. You add on a cancer lump sum, right? $5,000, maybe $10, $15 a month. And then you add on the skilled nursing, right? Another $15, $20 a month. You're looking at, literally you can do anywhere from $15 to $75. Yeah. And that's going to take care of everything not everything, but most of the big ticket items that's going to put a financial strain on that client.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we love the hell out of it. Between the way that you can build it and kind of customize that HI product for the client to fit their budget, cover, like you said, some of the big ticket gaps. But then also, like, the way your online kind of shopping cart e-app system is built, super simple. Like, I can quote every product in there, right? I can build it out, figure out what I want, add to cart whatever I need, and then check it out at the end and knock out a super simple app. And then more importantly, y'all's turnaround on issue in that business is super fast. Usually I write an HI product with you today. It's probably issued today, if not tomorrow at the latest, ready to go.
So we have a straight through processing system to where if you answer no on all the underwriting questions, we will, most of the time, outside of your first app, it takes a little bit longer because we got to go back to the state and make sure you're licensed, do background check in some states, all that stuff. But after you write that first app with us, most of the time, you're going to have straight through processing. So you submit it right now. Say you're talking on the phone with somebody, or you do face-to-face and you're in their home. That thing, if you're in face-to-face and then you have a nice little conversation after you complete the app, it's probably going to be issued before they walk out that door. It's typically, straight through unless something kicks it out due to, we got some back office stuff that's running different things, but for the most part, that stuff's going through straight through processing. So right away, which guess what that means? It means you get paid right away. Right. Yes. So it's we when we create products, we do a couple of different things. Number one, we create products that are easy to sell. Right. We try to keep it as simple as possible. And that's our hospital indemnity. That's our cancer plan. That's our home health care plan. We try to make it easy. We try to create marketing material and brochures and videos to where if you've never sold our products before, you can take that brochure along with the scan the QR code on that brochure that gives you a little 3.5, 4 minute video, and you can sell it without even knowing what the heck you're talking about, right? So we try to make it easy. Number two, we want to make sure that we have the best agent support staff in the business. And so we pride ourselves on, if you call our 1-800 number, you're going to start to develop a relationship with our agent support staff. Because when I hire an agent support person, I always ask them, the first question I ask them is like, who do you think your client is? Who is your customer? And they always say, oh, the policyholder, right? They're the one that pays the bills. They're the ones that pay premium. And I say, no. Policyholder is not our client. The agent is our client, right? The policyholder is the agent's client. The agent is our client. So we want to make sure that you treat them like they are the most important person in the world. And so you call our agent support, they're going to take care of you, right? I have stories where they've run quotes for people in a house. Like, they're going to do everything they can. You're not going to get a robot. You're not going to get an overseas customer service rep. You're going to get one of 4 people that are in our office. And then lastly, we want to make sure we pay good comps and we pay claims quickly. And we pay claims on an average of 5 to 8 business days, right? So that's the most important thing. When a client needs that money because they were smart enough to listen to you to buy that plan, we want to make sure they get paid in a timely manner. So as long as we have all the correct documentation, we're going to pay that thing out in 5 to 8 business days.
Absolutely. I appreciate you saying that, hey, the policyholder is not our client. That's the agent's client. Our client is the agent. Because that seems to be something that's getting a little bit lost on some of the insurance companies out there in today's market. Is what it is. I'm not going to harp on it, but I really appreciate you saying that. And then just one thing I wanted to plug real fast, because you mentioned your brochures. You've got them in Spanish now too, which is awesome for at least for your hospital indemnity products, and I believe maybe for your home healthcare product too, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, just those two.
And yes, great brochure. Just like you said, you got the QR code on there as well. So thank you for putting all those together. And not only do you guys have, you have 2 hospital indemnity products. You have the fully underwritten one, which is really not that difficult to underwrite. I think, there's maybe 5 questions on there at most.
Yeah.
But then you also have the straight guarantee issue version. And now, if they are selling the guarantee issue version, it's obviously a straight guarantee issue, but there are some limits on some of the benefits.
Yeah. So being a low-cost alternative in the hospital indemnity market, we decided not to go the route that some of the other carriers are going, which is developing a guaranteed issue age band inside the product, right? And the reason we decided not to do that is because if we were to provide a guaranteed issue age, maybe 64 to 71, pretty much what most of them are doing, that would increase the price for the whole book. Right?
Absolutely.
Because we have that guaranteed issue. And we said, we don't want to do that. We want to stay as that low-cost alternative, get good business on this plan. And if somebody needs has to have a product, say they're not inside the guaranteed issue of other products, we're going to create a total separate, fully guaranteed issue plan from age 64 to 85. So it's guaranteed. Now there are some different, ways to help us mitigate the going out of business. Number one, we have a 60-day waiting period on that plan. So no matter what, you can't use the plan for 60 days. And then number two, we have a pre-existing condition clause, meaning if you have a pre-existing condition, you can't use it for that pre-existing condition until after 12 months. Now, that is if something happens, slip and fall, accident, or it's a condition that's not related to the pre-existing, you'll get paid. I mean, you can file a claim after 60 days. Now, accident, there is no waiting period on any plans out there. But sickness, it's after 60 days if it's not pre-existing.
Right. And then y'all cover most of the states. Do you know, off the top of your head, how many states your
So we're
hospital?
currently in 35 states. We're basically not in the Pacific Northwest. We're not in California. We're not in the Northeast. And we just got licensed in Florida. So we will be coming out with plans in Florida in the next couple of months.
Excellent.
So really the heart of the U.S. outside of the two corners, upper corners, which, they're not very friendly insurance states anyway. So.
No, they're not. Truly not. I was going to ask you, do you know what the issue is with California and why they won't allow supplemental insurance products to be sold out there? Because there's no hospital indemnity, there's no home health care, there's no cancer anymore. Like, you can't sell any of that stuff out there.
Basically, the only thing you can sell out there is accident and final expense.
Right.
And we're in the process of getting licensed out there just because it looks good, but they charge insanely high fees. They don't want the business. They want control of everything, honestly. We don't want to get political on here, but it's typical California politics.
Absolutely. Well, other than your hospital indemnity product, which I love, one of my favorite ones that you guys offer is that home healthcare product. I feel like that one is not only an outstanding product, I feel like it's greatly overlooked by agents as an opportunity. And certainly it's, you have the skilled nursing option that you can throw onto the HI product, but your home healthcare product gives them a full 360 days of coverage inside skilled nursing. And then the fact that it has the drug rebate on there blows my mind, because that is super unique. I don't think anybody else is doing that at all. And I would just kind of love to pick your brain on, maybe in your opinion, like, where did y'all come up with that, in my opinion, an innovative idea to create a product that almost pays for itself?
Yeah. So it's funny, right? So insurance is a copycat business, right? Back in the day, Kemper used to have a home health care plan, and people liked the plan. We ended up having a bunch of agents give us a call and be like, hey, we love this Kemper plan, but we don't love doing business with them. We'd rather do business with y'all. We love how y'all operate. Is there anything you can do here? And so, being a copycat business, we said yes. So we looked at their plan and we created a very similar plan. And that was about 8-9 years ago. And since then, we have tweaked it and updated it and made it, in my opinion, the best home health care plan out there in the business. And so what we did is yes, you get it, more and more people are not wanting to leave their home, right? The biggest fear of the people we're talking to, the senior market, our clientele, is the fear of having to leave their home. And so if you can provide them an opportunity to where they don't have to go to a skilled nursing facility, right? They don't have to go to a nursing facility. They can have those people come to their house and take care of them. It is a very, very, very easy education to where they're going to buy it, right? Because you're going to show them a need. You got to create the need. How do you create the need on a home healthcare plan? It's pretty simple. Ms. Smith, are you under the impression Medicare is going to cover your long-term care, short-term care needs? Doesn't matter how they answer it, but they're probably going to answer yes, they think Medicare is going to cover it. And you're going to show them how Medicare is really not going to cover it, because at most they're going to cover up to 21 days.
Yep.
And then you're going to say, well, okay, if you need that care, would you rather go to a facility or have somebody come to your house? And they're going to say come to their house every single time.
Yep.
They're like, okay, well, let me tell you that. If somebody has to come to your house, it's going to cost about $50,000 per year, $50,000 to $60,000 per year, right? Now, I know you've been very successful, but do you want to spend that amount of money to have somebody come to your home? And they're going to say no. I say, well, how about we find you something where it costs you about $50 to $55 per month? That, oh yeah, by the way, you're going to get most of that money back because you're taking these prescription drugs, and this company is going to pay you every time you get a drug filled, right? It is a no-brainer, easy as can be. We have a 3.5-minute animated fun video that explains it to them, explains what the plan is. And people who are talking about this in homes, I'm not lying. We have agents literally who I educated. I told them about this plan. I trained them on this plan. They started selling it, and these agents are making between, $15,000 to $30,000 extra today than they were last year, right? And they say all you gotta do is bring it up, right? Yeah. And they said, I lead with this. I don't lead with the other stuff. I lead with this plan because I'm going to show them a way that they can get paid right away, right? And then I help them file that first RX benefit claim. After a month or 2 months, I'll help them file that. Then they get a check coming directly to them. They're never going to leave this plan, right? This thing stays on the book 85 to 90%. That's the retention rate on this plan. It stays on the books. It pays very good comp. It pays good renewals. Like, this thing is a no-brainer that other people aren't talking about. And that's the key, right? You got to differentiate yourself from other people. If all you're doing is calling and talking about Medicare Advantage, they've been getting hounded over the last 5 months on Medicare Advantage. This is a way to talk to these people, and you can do this throughout the year.
Yep.
Right. This is not these ancillary products are not. You're not pigeonholed into only OEP or AEP or special exemptions. You can sell this stuff every single day of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. And it doesn't fall under the same marketing restrictions that Medicare Advantage does. I mean, if you've got that kind of moxie, you can door knock with these types of products. You can cold call with them. You could cross market other products with them. Like doesn't have any of those restrictions.
Yeah.
And I really like the design of your home healthcare product, not just because you have the prescription drug rebate, but you have a plan A, B, or C, right? Which is one of the easiest ways to sell, right? You want high, middle, low. They almost always pick the one in the middle. It works great. So it's teed up for a simple conversation. But absolutely an outstanding product. And my understanding on the drug rebate piece, they get $10 for generic, $25 for a brand. They get up to a certain amount. Like if they're in plan B, they get up to $600 a year back, which is pretty much going to wipe out their premium for it. And then all they have to do is just mail in the list of prescriptions when they get them from the pharmacy.
That's
and
it.
Then just get a check back.
Yeah, you go to your pharmacy, you have them print out the drugs that you've taken. You can do it monthly, you can do it annually, you can do it a number of times throughout the year. Most people do it annual. They'll just go to their clients, like, hey, let's remember this plan I told you about. Let's go to your pharmacy right now, have them print out the drugs that you've had filled over the last 12 months, send it to our email you can mail it, email it, fax it. And, within 5 to 8 days, they're going to have a check in their hand. And, like I said, a lot of people help them with that first one after a few months just to show them that this is real. This is not a hoax. This is a real insurance. This is a real plan. You're really going to get paid. And when they do that first time, it's a no-brainer. You're going to keep them. And we also added last year, a new caregiver lump sum benefit to this plan. So obviously, if somebody is having to come to your house, whether it's a skilled nurse, a physical therapist, a home health care aide, somebody has to come to your house, that's great, but it's still going to put a burden on that loved one. And so how can we help that loved one when they're going through this stressful time in their life, not only with a $3,500 lump sum check that they're going to get, but also the resources that they need to help their loved one. We provide them with they fill out a questionnaire that kind of tells this company that we work with what are the resources that they're going to need, what are the referrals that they're going to need, and they develop a tailored plan for that caregiver to help their loved one while also giving them a $3,500 check.
Very nice. That's a great benefit. I appreciate you guys adding that in there, and thank you for reminding me about it.
Yep,
You need to bring it up more often. So you guys have an amazing portfolio. Like one of the things I love about your company in general is truly your full portfolio of ancillaries. You have an HI product, which we've already discussed. And in my opinion, it is the best HI product out there that agents should be selling. That home healthcare product, which we just hit on, is lights out, completely different. And something, just like you said, something that other agents don't talk about. So a great way to differentiate yourself. You also have a cancer product. And then if I remember correctly, yours is a straight lump sum cancer product. Is that right?
So we have two options. We have the lump sum that's on the HI plan. And then our standalone cancer plan is actually a scheduled benefit with a lump sum rider. So you get the best of both worlds, right? So when it comes to cancer coverage, you have two options in the market. You can do a straight lump sum plan, which is easy, right? It's very easy. Or you can go a scheduled benefit plan, which is a little bit more complicated when it comes to claims. However, what we decided to do is create a scheduled benefit with the lump sum rider. That way you get the best of both worlds. Because if all you have is a lump sum, somebody files a claim, that cancer plan's gone, right? And guess what? Who's the most likely person to get cancer? Somebody who has already had cancer.
Who already had cancer.
Right? And so once you get that lump sum, you get a check, plan's gone, you're not going to be able to get coverage anymore, maybe 10 years after remission. What our plan does is you get diagnosed with cancer. If you have the lump sum rider, which I recommend you sell it as a package deal.
Absolutely.
You get the lump sum. Now you have the schedule that you can use to pay for all your treatments and your travel and all these other costs that are associated when you get diagnosed with cancer. And you can take that lump sum, you can put it off to the side, you can use it as a loss of income, or if you want to go on that trip, or whatever you want to use it for. You don't have to touch it. You can use that schedule to pay for everything else. And so it's the best of both worlds, in my opinion. If all you want to do is sell a cancer lump sum, just throw that rider on the HI plan, because you should be talking about that anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, usually when we're selling it in the HI product more often. I mean, that's the product that we sell the most, because we sell mostly Medicare Advantage in this house. It just seems to be what most of our clients prefer. We educate the hell out of them about Medicare Supplement, but ultimately they tend to go to the Medicare Advantage side. Yeah. And then we're stuffing in the HI product with the cancer rider, everything all built out in that. So you also have a dental product, and it's an indemnity dental product, so they can pretty much use anybody they want, turn in their claim, get reimbursed for their dental.
Yeah, that plan is, so we created that plan a couple of years ago. We it's funny, my sister and my dad are both dentists, so very familiar with the dental world. And a few years ago, I was talking to them about it. We were talking about coming out with this plan, and they were like, you know what, I wouldn't come out with a dental insurance plan. That's what they told me. They said, we don't accept insurance. A lot of my peers are getting away from accepting insurance, and it's not worth our time to have to hire somebody to full-time worry about filing claims with the insurance companies. And so I explained to him, I said, oh, what if we came out with this idea? What if we do a reimbursement plan? And he was like, a discount plan? I said, no, not a discount plan. A full reimbursement plan, to where they go to you as a dentist who doesn't take insurance. You give them the bill, they paid it, they submit that bill to us, the carrier, and we pay them 80% of what they spent. He said, that would be amazing, because then we don't have to do anything. All we have to do is give them a bill. And so that's what we came out with. It's an indemnity plan. It's a reimbursement plan. What that means is no networks. So you can go to any dentist in America. You're not tied to the negotiated rates and the usual customary and reasonable charge BS that these insurance carriers come up with on how they're going to pay claims. You go, as long as it's a covered expense, you've hit your waiting periods, we'll pay 80% of what you spent. So if you go get a root canal at one dentist that costs $1,000, we'll pay you 80%. If that root canal at a different dentist costs you $1,500, we'll still pay you 80% of that $1,500. And so when it comes to dental, there's a lot of just not good plans out there.
Absolutely.
You're trading dollars for dollars at the end of the day.
Yeah.
With our plan, it's not going to get you in a world of hurt, because if you cross-educate and you put 3 plans in a home, maybe they're hospital indemnity, maybe home health care, and then maybe a dental plan, when the first one they go to use is that dental plan, and they're expecting to get 80% because that's what all these plans advertise, but they spent, let's say, $1,000, and they're expecting to get $800 back. But what they didn't realize is that $1,000, but actually the usual customer and reasonable charge for that is only $800. And also, you're in year 2 of your plan. So we said 80%, but in year 2, we only pay 50%. And so now you're getting 50% of 800. So you're getting $400 when you're expecting to get $800. And so what are they going to do? They're going to cancel it, and they're going to cancel everything else you put in that home, because what you sold them is a bunch of crap. We wanted to stay away from that. We wanted to keep it simple. And so we have done that. And then also, one of the things we're going to be launching in the next month is we're going to start waiving waiting periods for people who get the new plan going forward, who have continuous coverage. So 12 months of previous coverage with comprehensive dental. If they have that and they show us that proof, we'll waive the waiting periods.
I like that. And there's a couple of carriers that have done that. If you had 12 months, and then some have done it and then gotten away from it. So that's a nice update. Yeah.
So we'll be launching that. Be on the lookout. We'll be launching that in the next 30 to 45 days.
I will definitely keep my eyes peeled. What else do you have? Anything else that we've missed? I know the beef of the portfolio we pretty much covered.
Yeah. So we keep it simple, as you know, Tony. We are, all we do is ancillary, right? Yeah. So we don't mess with any of the other stuff. We do have a final expense plan we're coming out with. We do have a $5,000 final expense certificate that if you qualify for our underwriting on our hospital indemnity plan, you'll get a little pop-up that says, hey, are you interested in a $5,000 pre-approved final expense plan? No additional underwriting. So we do have that. We turned it off for AEP. It's going to be turned back on here in the next few weeks. But at the end of the day, we focus on ancillary, right? That's all we do. And so, there's no other companies out there that only do ancillary. That's what we do. We keep it simple. We listen to people. We come up with, you got any ideas? We're willing to listen. We're willing to create plans. We want to make sure that we are the best ancillary carrier out there. And so we focus in only on ancillary. And our goal is, our goal is to get that 1% of people who have hospital indemnity plans. If we can get that to 3%, just think about the opportunity for everybody, right?
Okay.
That number should be 50%, but it's not, and it's probably never going to get there. So we just want to focus on raising that through awareness, because if we educate people, if I do an hour training with a group, the first 20 minutes, I'm teaching people how to cross-sell or cross-educate. I'm not even talking about our products, because if we can make agents aware that they need to protect these gaps, they will eventually start selling our product. And so that's our whole goal, is to make people aware of the ancillary products and the need for them, and the why, and then the how to sell them.
Excellent. Well, we got a few more minutes before we wrap up, so I kind of want to dive a little bit into that. Exactly. Like, what, in your opinion, is the best way for someone to bring up a hospital indemnity product or to cross-educate their client on a hospital indemnity product?
I think the easiest way, and the way that people have the most success, is you have to just weave it into your presentation, right? When you're talking about Medicare Advantage during AEP or whatever, you need to, when you get to the part where it talks about what the copays are, right? Just stop, right? Instead of like breezing through that and trying to get through that as fast as you can and hope, hey, I hope they don't realize that if they have to go to the hospital, they're responsible for those 5 days at $300 per day. Stop, slow down, make sure they understand, hey, this is a real financial, this could be potential real financial strain if you have to go to the hospital, right? Because you will be responsible for the first 5-6 days at $300 per day. You understand that, right? I just want to make sure you understand that before we move on. Now, don't worry about that, because I have a way I'm going to show you when we get done with this presentation. I'm going to show you a way that we can protect that for like $1 to $3 per day, right? And that's it, right? Make sure they understand. Then when you get done with your presentation and you go to close up your book, they're going to be, hey, whoa. You forgot to tell me about that way we can protect that, right? And then you can talk about it. That's a very easy way, number one. And number two, if they're not your client and you're trying to get them to be a client, just play the dumb game, right? Miss Smith, you got a great plan here, right? I don't even want to mess with that. You obviously have a great agent, got a great plan. This is probably the plan I would have put you in, right? So now that I know that you have a great agent, I'm sure they told you about that hospital copay where you could be out of pocket for $1,500, right? Right then and there, they're going to be like, "Pooh, what are you talking about?"
Yep.
Right? And then you can just weave it in. They didn't tell you about that? Oh, I don't even allow my clients who buy Medicare Advantage not to get this, because it is so important that if you don't get this, I don't know if we could even work together, right? They just play that game, right? Play that game. Make sure you understand, like, this is how important this is. And at the end of the day, truly, if you believe in the ancillary things, which you should, right? Because our job is, at the end of the day, we are retirement specialists, right? We are trying to help our clients retire. They don't teach people how to retire. That is our job, to educate them. And part of that is their health expenses, their health insurance. This is a huge part of that. And so believe in it. And when you believe in it, they will see that. If you truly believe in this stuff and you speak on it with a passion, they're going to buy it from you.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day. They're going to. And so it's just having the confidence. If you don't have the confidence, use those videos that are on the brochure, scan the QR code. That will help you with confidence. That will help explain the products. But, everybody does it differently. At the end of the day, we just have to talk about it.
Yep.
Right? If we talk about these things in every single home, you're going to close at a 20% rate your first week. Right? And if you close home healthcare at a 20% rate and you present, let's say you talk to 10 people, like have the 10 legit conversations a week about their Medicare and you bring up home health care on every single one of those, that's 100. If you sell 2 per week, right?
Mhm.
2 out of 10, 20%. That's 100 policies that you're going to sell in the first year if you work 50 weeks a year, right? Think about that. 100 policies. These premiums, I mean, these comps are really good.
They are
right?
good.
So 100
That's at
times
least
whatever
like
your
20
comp
to
is,
30K
that's 30K right there. I mean,
easily.
think about it. Like it's that easy. You just have to talk about it. And what ends up happening, people might listen to this, they might get excited. We got some training videos on our website. Reach out to Tony, get contracted with us. Then you'll have access to all of our training webinars. I promise you'll get excited about it. You'll start talking about it. You'll sell a few. Maybe you'll miss a few. And then 3 weeks from now, you'll probably forget about us, right? I challenge every single person. Give this a shot, right? I promise if you commit 2025 to talk about ancillary in every single home, you will make so much money. You will keep these clients and you're going to help so many people. You're going to get those phone calls, right? Something happened. I went to the hospital. I just got this bill, but I remember that you told me that I should buy this hospital indemnity. And now I just got a check for $1,500 from UNL. I don't have to come out of pocket anything, right?
Yep.
Those are great conversations to have. Or the phone call you get, there's 2 different phone calls when it comes to cancer. The first one is, do you have insurance care? Do you have any cancer insurance? When you get that call, it's one of the worst calls you can get. Because if they're asking you, there's a reason. And the reason is they probably just got diagnosed with cancer, right? Or you get that call that says, Hunter, I got diagnosed with cancer this past year. And I remember that you made me buy this cancer. You told me about this cancer plan. And I just got a check and they're paying all my bills. That phone call right there is one of the best phone calls you can get. Yes, it's sad because they got cancer, but you helped that person probably get through a financial burden that they may never have gotten out of if you didn't help them out.
Yeah, I've definitely had those conversations because that's how I cut my teeth in the industry, was selling cancer products door to door. We did have one quick question come in from the group, which is an easy one. Heather Rodriguez asked us, what is your agent broker contracting turnaround? I can tell you that it is super fast. Usually when I submit a contract to them, I have the agent number within 1 to 2 days later, assuming that contract was submitted properly. And your team in the office, Diane, I can't think of her last name right now, but incredibly responsive, super helpful. Like she's Johnny on the spot for anything that I ever ask for and need. So I'm super appreciative of that. So yes, Heather is very, very fast.
Diana know.
Yeah, it's a very fast contract turnaround. And if you need one, just let me know. I'll be happy to get you fixed up on it. But Hunter, man, I really appreciate you taking time to come on the show out of your busy day. I know a couple of other things that I want to leave with. Number one, you have an amazing bonus. One of my agents got super excited about y'all's AEP bonus. You were throwing out an opportunity where they can get an extra $100 an app. She hit it, super excited. Can't wait to get paid on that. She's keeps bugging me, because I reached out the other day. I'm like, hey, when are you paying that? Because she won't stop leaving me alone, asking where her bonus check is. But then also, you guys have great agent trips. Where are you sending agents on the next trip that y'all have?
Yeah, so our next trip will be in February of 2026, right? So we'll announce the qualification periods here in the next few months to qualify for that trip. I'm actually flying out on Tuesday to Cabo to go check out 4 different high-end resorts that we're looking at, and I'm hoping by the end of next week I have nailed down where we're going to be going. But it's looking like we're going to be doing a trip to Cabo.
Nice. If you need any help, just let me know. I'd be happy to ride along with you and help you find the right location. What is an agent? What kind of production does an agent normally need to hit?
Yeah, so it's we haven't finalized that yet, but it's usually between $40,000 and $50,000 of issued premium, and we give them a time frame of usually, it depends on what the time frame is. Probably doing 9-month qualification period is what I have to guess, and we will definitely include AEP into that. So the key is, honestly, if you talk about ancillary and you commit to selling ancillary as an agent, you will qualify.
Yeah, absolutely.
You just got to commit to it.
Right on. Well, man, thank you so much for taking time out. Thank you guys for tuning in. Great episode, great time, man. If you need some help with or you're interested in United National Life, you want to learn more about it, feel free to reach out to me. I'd be happy to get you some details, get you on a phone call with Hunter if necessary, and certainly get him in and do some more training. So thank you again, man. Thank you guys. And as always, we're here live every Tuesday doing our best to try to bring you tactical information that you can put in your business and actually go out and make more money today. So get yourself contracted with United National Life and increase your commissions immediately. We'll see you next time for Tuesday training. Thanks again.